let's start here. The Carolina Panthers, they're playing Dallas this week. Dallas just stomped the New York Giants, and Panthers catching anywhere between 10.5, 11. And we have Nathan here, Billy Betts. They're saying Panthers plus the points, Panthers money line. Raybon, do these folks need to mix in a water?
Plus the points, I could get behind. Money line, I'm going to say mix in the water only because this Panther organization is terrible. And I think if Dallas has a sleepy spot, I think you're more likely to see a low scoring under where it's hard for Dallas to cover double digits. But I really don't see the Panthers being able to pull off the upset. I mean, even with that Cardinals game against the Cowboys, now we know that the Cardinals did have one thing going for them at the time, and that was Joshua Dobbs. I can't say the same about Bryce Young. I just think this organization is horrible. I wrote about it before the season. My favorite win total under. They might hit it before Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna say mix in the water on a money line, but don't hate the spread. But for me personally, I'm not touching the Panthers. So you're on your own.
Don't blame you. Raybon passing around envelopes by Thanksgiving if this gets there. Stuckey, you were talking a little bit about a couple of weeks ago that this Panthers offense might have turned a corner. Is that enough, kind of, sort of, to play the Panthers on the money line or with the points?
No, they need to mix in the water here. I mean, look, I think it's a little high, but the Panthers, they changed play callers and they were using a little bit more tempo, so there was some hope there. You would think that Bryce Young would get better as the season progressed, but I just haven't seen enough from this offense. And now you're going up against a top 5 defense, and this is, historically a spot where Prescott thrives. He's 29-13 against the spread against losing teams with a losing record, 71% against the spread as a favorite of 6 or more. Only Tom Brady is more profitable in that spot in the history of the NFL. Part of that has to do with the Cowboys defense, right? One of the reasons why I loved them last week against the Giants and another bad quarterback in Tommy DeVito is once they get up, then their defense can pin its ears back, get after the quarterback, force bad quarterbacks into mistakes, and then everything kind of just goes from there. The Cowboys offense is rolling right now. Mm-hmm. They're the offense that has really made the changes that have translated to an enormous bump in on-field efficiency. And that defense is a top 5 unit. So, yeah, I mean, maybe with the spread, catching double digits at home is kind of a buy low spot on Carolina. You hope that the Cowboys are a little sleepy, but money line, no thanks. And I as well will not be partaking in this game.
And here's why I think Carolina struggles to cover, because they're a bad team overall, but their weakest unit probably isn't even their pass offense, it's their run defense. And so they'll get down because they're a bad team, but then it's hard for them to, backdoor cover because they're getting shredded on the ground and teams could just run out the clock and score more points. So that's really why Carolina's just been a tough team to back this year.
Yeah, that's a good call, because when they had a 2-touchdown lead against Miami weeks ago,
Yep.
Stuck, I think you were on Carolina in this game too, plus 14.5. And you're like, okay, Panthers, they've kept up in the first half and through 3 quarters. And then just every time they would score, they would let Miami come back down and score with their ground attack. So yeah, that's definitely played out. Let's go to this next one. Also at 1:00 on Sunday, Giants and Commanders, gross matchup in the NFC East. I went back and looked at this, folks, 5 months ago, the opening line for Giants and Commanders, the Giants were 1.5 point favorites. They are 9-point underdogs. In some places, 10. Chris likes Giants plus 10. Jeremy says Giants money line around plus 350. Says almost always close game with Washington, so I guess they have a chance. Raybon, to Jeremy and or Chris. Chris just likes the Giants and the points. Jeremy wants them on the money line. Do these guys have to mix in a water for believing in Mr. Tommy DeVito this week?
Nah, I don't think so, because this is the classic. Like, if there's going to be one of those long money line dogs to hit, This is a prime matchup because, number one, Washington, I like what Sam Howell's doing, but Washington at any given time can revert to being like a preseason squad on both sides of the ball. And we saw this in their last matchup against the Giants, where they went, I think it was 1 of 15 on third down. And where they lose 14-7 or something like that, 14-10. It was bad. And, Tommy DeVito, it's been ugly, especially going against Dallas. Against the Raiders, I think he was 15-20 in garbage time. He's not like he's not Tim Tebow, right? So, he's played preseason games. He's thrown the ball against NFL defenses before. I mean, we saw this Washington defense come out, I think it was week 6, and get lit up for 40 by the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to say you don't have to mix in a water. You could look really ugly, and there could be egg all over your face because Washington could easily go, beat them like 40-9. But the Giants do have a shot in this one. Like, this is the type of team that the Giants might get their last win of the season against.
Okay. I will tell you, though, looking at the box score, Giants 14-7 winners in that game, week 7. Darren Waller, who is on IR right now, had one of his best games of the year, his coming out party as a member of the Giants. 7 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Not in this matchup this week. Stuckey, what do you think? Do the people need to mix in a water backing the Giants in any capacity? Money line and the points.
I maybe points, you just hope for low scoring game, but money line, yes, mix in a water. You can't back Tommy DeVito to win a game in the NFL, especially on the road. I mean, look, you were talking about sample size. He went up. Yeah, great. The Jets are a great defense. He finished with negative passing yards in that game. The Raiders have a bottom 5 defense, and they lost 30-6. And then against the Cowboys, I don't know, he threw 30 times for 80 yards, and they were getting dump trucked the entire game. I mean, this is one of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen. And no, I mean, look, and Sam Howell's playing better of late. He's getting his timing down. He's not holding the ball as much. He's not taking as many sacks. That was mainly his primary weakness because he can make all the throws. So that offense is trending up. And the Giants, not only are you down to a third, should be, this guy should be a 4th practice squad guy, 4th string practice squad guy. They don't have much around him. Like, the offensive line isn't good. And, you just mentioned they're missing Waller. The receivers, they don't have an alpha receiver. Mm-hmm. And teams can just load the box, focus on taking away Barkley, and that's it. You can't wait all week. You go to work, you earn your money, and then you wake up on Sunday morning and you put it on Tommy DeVito to win an NFL game on the road. No, you can't mix in a water.
There's two sides.
He doesn't get to sleep in his own bed this week. I mean, they're not too far from home. They're going to the nation's capital, but he doesn't get all the dinner, the bed being made. He doesn't get that consistency, Tim.
Is Tommy DeVito a virgin? Serious question.
Can't say that. Oh, can't say that. No way we can say that. There's
It's a legitimate question. He lives at home with his parents.
I live at home with my parents. There's nothing wrong with it.
Wait a second. Hold on. 1 second.
Exactly. That's why
I'm not going to elaborate on what Raybon just said. But
now
Tim,
we're on to something.
Wait a minute. Tim, did you cross over with DeVito at Syracuse?
I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you have any inklings of what Raybon's talking about?
I don't know, but all-time tool bag Hall of Fame, Tommy DeVito.
I thought you were talking about me.
No, it's never had an easier time rooting against someone. Tool bag.
Whoa, okay, damn. But I can't ask if he's a virgin, and you just go on a tool rant like it's fucking Home Improvement in this bitch.
Here we go. Cover your ears. Anyway, yeah. So 2 sides to every story. Washington laying points, that many points seems bizarre, but also too, yeah, it is Tommy DeVito. And I don't Stuck. You said sample size. I don't think he wants a bigger sample size. I think that it would only get uglier. So a lot of tickets and dollars coming in on the Giants, which is a little bit perplexing. Maybe a trendy dog type feel. Another trendy dog, possibly.
I've had enough talking about Tommy DeVito. We'll move on.
Yeah,
let's go.
We're done. Yeah. Trendy dog could also be the Arizona Cardinals. They're playing red hot CJ Stroud, Houston Texans this week in the +4.5, 5 range. I'm also on the Cardinals, so I guess I apply to this as well. Two people, Cardinals over Texans. One says money line, one doesn't disclose it, but I'm guessing money line as well. Raybon, what say you?
I think my guy Stuckey is probably going to disagree. I wouldn't say mix in the water. Kyler Murray historically has been very good against the spread as an underdog. So I mean, these are the type of spots, and like I love CJ Stroud, but I do think Houston can put up a big number here on offense, but we're only 10 games into the Stroud era, and I still don't have a full feel for some of the letdown spots, and you're coming off probably the biggest win of your career as the team. So is there some letdown because their last loss was that 15-13 loss to the Carolina Panthers of all teams. So this Houston team is a little bit unpredictable. So I'm not going to say mix in the water, but I think Stuckey has something to say about this.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone is on the Cardinals here, although I just saw the Texans are finally starting to take money. I imagine that will be the case as we get closer to kick two, just like last week. I mean, Stroud is the real deal. Just watch him in the pocket, one drive. That's all you need to do. And I think he's already a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. How is anyone on this Arizona defense slowing down Houston? I have no idea. He's not going to get pressured. The Cardinals are bottom 5 in pressure rate, bottom 5 in blitz rate, and he's going to sit back in the pocket. And I would agree, mate, it's a little bit of a letdown spot, but you're going home. Be a little different if you're going on the road. And that Carolina game, that's the game that sparked everything for this offense. They finally came out, the offense slow. It came out, D'Amico Ryans, and said, look, we made a mistake trying to run the ball into walls. We have to rely on our strengths. And the past 2 weeks, they let Stroud, really, they handed him the keys to the offense. And this offense is just ripping apart defenses ever since. I mean, the Cardinals have one of the worst secondaries in the league. They have no corners who can defend, and they're not going to get pressure. So Stroud's going to sit back in the pocket, and he's going to pick them apart. And, yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray's back. That provides a boost to the Cardinals, but this still isn't a great, offense overall. Texans' run D's actually been really good.
Yep.
So with Connor back, that's important. And their secondary is now healthy. You got to remember this Texans team early in the season, they were playing without both their safeties. They were playing without, 3 or 4 starting offensive linemen. We'll see if they get Nico Collins back, but they don't even need them with the way that Brown is playing with Tank Dell. So, I think that this line should be closer to a touchdown. Cardinals, one of the worst teams in the NFL. And look back at their results this year. I mean, they'll win they're a team that's going to finish like with 2 or 3 wins. They'll win an occasional game, and then the rest of their games they're getting blown out by 17 plus. It is a little bit of a letdown spot for Houston, but they're going to be at home in front of the crowd, and I just don't see how Arizona can stop them.
Yeah, I don't think the Texans have played their best games yet defensively. The last 2 games, obvious, right? Tampa, you mentioned the Bengals game, but I think they have yet to scratch the surface defensively, and that was what was supposed to carry them the first half of the year. And as you said, Stroud has really proven to be quite the get.